Well, it's good to be here with you today. I thank you so much for allowing me just a few minutes to talk with you and share a few things. But, you know, it's interesting when the more we find out, the more we realize how wrong the direction we're going. And so what we're going to do is take back our country. 2012 is the time that we're going to send Mr. Obama home to Kenya or wherever it is. We're going to do it. You know, we stand for life, liberty, and less government. And when you look at that, those are the tenets that really have made our nation great. And I wanted to share just a couple of stories, but before I do that, my son is driving with me today. We actually started out real early in Franklin. We've got 5 stops today. We'll end up in Madison County, but he is studying to be a conservative constitutional attorney, and so we've got guys like that hopefully will do better than 3 questions on the questionnaire there. But I want to share a couple of stories with you. One is in St. Louis. Charlie Chaplin looked down, and he was looking there, and he looked in the newspaper, and he saw that there was a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. And so he thought it would be fun if he would go and show up at the look-alike contest. So sure enough, he shows up at the look-alike contest, and there they are. They go through the entire thing, and you know what? Charlie Chaplin came in 3rd. You know, and so that's really how it is with some of our politicians. What they claim to be is conservative, and what they end up being is liberal. And you know, the truth really speaks in terms of what you see ultimately in what they do. You know, President Obama is up there saying that, you know, the private sector is doing just fine. Can you believe that? How out of touch can he be? And that's because he's created over 250,000 government jobs. And let me just share with you, 6,000 new attorneys. Yeah. Now, you look at it, why would we be hiring 6,000 new attorneys in the government? Is to make sure that all the regulation that's coming down gets enforced. And we need to repeal Obamacare, we need to repeal regulation and make sure that we take it back. The other thing that we've got to look at is when we start to sell out our country to China and foreign entities. You know, we're allowing the international body to take over our national sovereignty. You know, some of you are very familiar with Agenda 21, but it doesn't just stop there. You know, we look at the laws of the sea treaties. What they're trying to do is take over our waters and the mineral rights in the ocean. We look at the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. They're trying to take over and basically tell us how to raise our children. We look at the UN Small Arms Treaty, and all of those are Second Amendment rights that they're trying to take from an international body. And what we've got to do is stand up and say, this is America, we're proud of it. You have no authority here.
Yeah.
We also need to look is sometimes things are very obvious to other people. And I want to share a story with you here. Ronald Reagan told the story during the IRA times about sending a spy over to Ireland. Now he said, well, a good name to send him over there to Ireland is a guy by the name of Murphy. So he sent Murphy over there, and he got embedded into the community, and 6 months went by, and they said, well, you know, it's time that we probably need to go over there and check on our spy and see how things are going. So they send the guy over there, and as he gets there, he goes into this local tavern. He says, I'm looking for Murphy. Now, the code word was, it's fair today, but it'll be fairer tomorrow. And so that was how they were to recognize who the spy was with that code word. And so as they look at it, he gets there, he says, I'm looking for a Murphy. Well, in Ireland, that's pretty easy to do. He says, well, there's Murphy the butcher. You know, there's Murphy the baker. And he says, well, I'm a Murphy the bartender. And he says, well, being there, figured he would try out the secret passcode. So he says, well, it's fair today, but 'twill be fair tomorrow. And he goes, oh, no, you're looking for Murphy the spy. He lives around the corner. So sometimes it's very obvious. It's right there in front of us, and what we need to do is take it back. You know, we have got a situation right now. The Bay Bridge is being rebuilt. And it's being rebuilt by a Chinese company. So it's amazing to me that we're paying unemployment to hundreds of thousands of people, and yet we're hiring a Chinese company to build an American bridge. When do we say enough is enough? Enough is enough. You know, but the good news is we've got plenty of green jobs coming down the pike. You know, we've got plenty of those, and I think it would be very, very interesting to take the definition that this administration puts forth for green jobs, and let's just take it to them. Because, you know, recently what we found out is that green jobs amount to people who work in bicycle repair shops. Or people who sweep the floor in a solar company is a green job. But I think the Tea Party Express needs to take them to the task. Because we also found out that bus drivers are green jobs. So I think we need to go and just say, well, do we qualify for your stimulus money? Because you know what? I know the answer will be no. You know, because stimulus and bailouts never work. You know, we have a history of where limited government, liberty, and life has served us well. You know, we need to honor our veterans and our commitment to our veterans. You know, they've stood up for freedom. It is not fair for us to come in and change the deal after they come back home. Wouldn't you agree with that? Yeah. So I'm going to close with this. It's when we start to look at the unbelievable spending that's out there. You know, when we start to look at the fact that what we've got to do is rein it back in. It starts at the local level with tea parties just like this. But it grows exponentially as we go on. The best government is a limited government. The less you hear from Washington, D.C., the better off we are on a local level because we've got local control. I've been across 17 counties. We have a runoff on July 17th. Many of you may not even know that. The good news is we got 35,000 votes, which was 500 more votes than the Democratic opponent who got 55% of the vote. We only got 38%. So in November, this seat is one for us to take back. And as we've gone across this district, I want to share this story to close. In 1776, George Washington was faced with certain annihilation with 9,000 people. He was at the East River. The British were coming and they were surrounding back and they were going to just wipe him out. In nighttime, he started to take his troops across the river. And as he started to take them across the river, some 4,500 made it across during the night. So in the morning, when morning came, he faced certain annihilation. And yet what happened was a dense fog came in. Some people called it fate. Most people called it the hand of God. But that fog came in and allowed them to take the rest of the 4,500 troops across to the other side where George Washington on the last boat made it across. And when he did, the fog lifted. And when that fog lifted, there was 9,000 men ready to fight another day. I am telling you, across this district and across this country, the fog is lifting. I am honored and would be honored to stand with you to fight, to take back our country, to reclaim it today, and make sure that we never apologize again for being America. God bless you.